Constitutional law professor Jonathan Turley wrote this today, quote, "Comey is selling himself with the vigor of a Kardashian and the viciousness of a Trump. While professing to write the book to protect the FBI as an institution, Comey is doing that institution untold harm by joining an ignoble list of tell-all authors." Professor Turley joins me now. Professor, very strong words in your column today for James Comey. What's that coming from?
Well, I think that many career people at the Justice Department must really find this quite repulsive. The very notion of a former FBI director writing a tell-all book is a virtual contradiction in terms. You know, FBI directors have valued their circumspection. You know, they need to have presidents trust them. And Comey has really destroyed that. And it's not just the book. It's not just the tenor, but the timing. You know, the fact that he rushed this book out is inexcusable. He was the head of this investigation and is now one of the cooperating witnesses. Nobody would suggest that this book is benefiting the investigation. To the contrary, he's undermining his role as a witness. And so the question is, why is he doing it? And the answer is rather obvious. He's going to make a lot of money, but in the process, he's going to do untold harm to the institution he once headed.
He was asked about, his intentions today and why he wrote the book. And he said, well, I didn't clear it with the special counsel, Robert Mueller, but I did, put the book through the paces at the FBI. He was on The View today. Meghan McCain said that she felt that he was sounding more like a political commentator with the discussions that he's had around the book. And he said, it's not about politics, my book. He said, it's about values.
Yeah, well, that's a particularly odd aspect of this spin. First of all, why wouldn't you clear it with Mueller? I thought you were all about the FBI, all about the rule of law. Why wouldn't you clear with Mueller? I mean, you are one of his cooperating witnesses. But more importantly, when you read that book, it's a bit of a sham. He says, well, I wrote this book because America's looking for ethical leadership. Really? So the ethical leadership is him. He's saying, America needs me. I'm selling me. But the problem with that pitch is that when Comey was fired, he removed 7 memos from the FBI, in my view, inappropriately. That was FBI material linked to an investigation. 4 of those memos now are believed to be classified. Now, it's just like the book. He could have given it to Congress. He could have given it to the investigators. But instead, the man charged with finding leakers became a leaker himself and gave it to a friend so the information could get to the media. That's not ethical leadership.
One of the things that's in this letter that some of these Republicans have put together, and James Comey said, that's not even necessary, that letter, because the Inspector General is already looking into this. But one of the things that the Inspector General is looking into is Rod Rosenstein's reasoning for recommending the firing of James Comey. And he's saying that James Comey reached a conclusion on his investigation of Hillary Clinton before he had even interviewed her. And when James Comey was asked about that, Jonathan, he basically said, well, if you don't know where an investigation's going, and you've been at it a year, and you don't know what direction it's going, you're doing something wrong. What do you think about all that?
Well, I thought it was particularly strange. He indicated that, no, this happens all the time. We write letters about the conclusion of the investigation before a conclusion has been reached. This is part of that spin that's coming out of the book. And it really is undermining his credibility. He's going to make a lot of money, but he will damage his reputation, his legacy, and there are very important and good things about his legacy, and he will damage the FBI. And in the end, Trump does have this ability to get his critics to sort of bring out the worst in his critics. And Comey is fulfilling the stereotype that Trump laid out for him.
Jonathan Turley, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Good to
Martha.
see you tonight.